10 Best Picks presents the top 10 best robot vacuums. Starting at number 10. ILIFE V3s Pro. I was super apprehensive about buying from a brand I didn't recognize, but let me tell you, I'm so glad I did, says one reviewer, who bought it as a replacement for a vacuum from a well-known brand and found that this one works much better. Dozens are equally impressed with how well it works, especially when it comes to pet hair. More than 500 dog owners and more than 200 cat owners say this is great for picking it up. One reviewer, who named their new robot friend Simon, says, "Simon has picked up so much fur, dirt, dust, it's unbelievable." Another writes, "We have 3 dogs and a cat, and I thought I would be satisfied if this thing would kind of surface clean to get the tumbleweed fur, but finds it does that, and so much more. Yes. It also goes from hardwood to our low-pile Berber and rugs without hanging up." About 15% of reviewers agree that this model transitions well. "It transitioned over my hardwood and rugs without crying out for help and made it up and over the small ledge between the hallway and bathroom that the Roomba just wouldn't or couldn't," one says. Another reviewer even thinks this vacuum is sufficient for their primary source of cleaning, noting, "I have not vacuumed for a month and my house is spotless." Even though it isn't from a name brand, this vacuum has converted at least one reviewer into a lifelong customer. The V3's Pro vacuumed up a thick line of breadcrumbs we sprinkled horizontally into its path without a second thought. After the vac made a few passes, the breadcrumbs were gone. By comparison, the ILIFE V5's Pro spread the crumbs around and never quite managed to capture all of them, leaving a gritty surface on our hardwood floor. In our lab tests, the ILIFE V3's Pro was a top performer. The robot earned a perfect score on our pet hair on the hardwood test, picking up 100%. Out of all of the robot vacuums we tested, in all price ranges, the V3's Pro was the only one that achieved perfection on this test. The RoboVac was equally impressive on carpet when dealing with pet hair, picking up 99% of it, just a hair less than the ILIFE V5's Pro's 99.5% pickup rate. The device's performance was remarkably better than the Eufy RoboVac 11s, which only cleaned up 75% of pet hair on carpet. At number 9. iRobot Roomba 960. About a third of reviewers mention how good this robot vacuum is at picking up their dog and cat hair. "We have a golden retriever that sheds constantly," one writes. "We run Rick 3 times a week, and the hair on the floor has all but disappeared." Another user who with 1 dog and 3 cats that believe their only job in this world is to shed as much hair as possible inside was admittedly skeptical, says, "The amount of stuff that he was picking up was appalling." They add, "We've dumped bin after bin of hair and dirt into our trash can. We were all amazed at what that little guy can do." And while this model might not have upgrades like automatic dirt disposal, reviewers aren't bothered. Yes, you have to empty the bin and shake out the filter, and even sometimes remove pieces to pull out dog hair, but the job it does makes it worth it. When writer Lori Keong tested this model, she was mainly impressed by the mapping feature and how systematically it cleans, moving back and forth in a grid pattern so that it doesn't miss much and without bumping into furniture too often. One of the main differences between the 690 and the 960 is that the 960 has a cleaning preferences menu, which lets you customize the number of times it cleans a single room. Also, in the lifetime performance menu, you can view more detailed stats about each session, including total area cleaned. And it supports iRobot's Clean Map feature, which lets you see a map of where the robot is vacuumed. You still can't steer the Roomba using the app, however. Most robot vacuums opt for random cleaning patterns, which can be frustrating to watch as they ignore obvious dust bunnies in favor of cleaning the same spot over and over again. That's true of the 690, but the 960 is much more methodical in its approach. I tested the Roomba 960 at my apartment and was impressed by how deftly it maneuvered around furniture and obstacles. Thanks to the camera, it didn't bang into table legs or bookshelves, and often, I would see it pause momentarily as it calculated where to move next. While the Bobsweet Bobby pet knocked over one of my dining room chairs and the Roomba 690 pushed a shopping bag across my hallway, the 960 left things as they were. So while you should still clear the floors of cables and liquids prior to cleaning, you don't have to bend over backwards decluttering. Number 8 of my list. Eufy's Debit 500. She is lovely, one reviewer writes, one of almost 15% of reviewers who note how quiet their Eufy's robot vacuum operates. It looked as though I did the floors myself, they continue. I ran the vac the entire 110 minutes, very quiet 110 minutes, I emptied the drawer out twice. The bot transitioned well from hardwood to area rugs. Worked just as well on area rugs. I had been sweeping every day, so for those of you who don't, you may have to empty more often the first few times you use it. This robot vacuum also has a max suction mode, which another user still says it's very quiet on. While more than 65% of reviewers give this 5 stars, some do say it gets stuck on things occasionally, but when it does get stuck on something it beeps, so you know to go check on, explains one reviewer, thanks to the Wi-Fi connectivity and loud buzzer. The Debit 500 setup requirements are much the same as other Debit vacuums I've used. Switch on the power switch embedded in the side of the vacuum, and then set it on its charging dock. Download the Eufy's Home app, select the 500 from a list of Debit models, and follow the on-screen instructions to connect to your home Wi-Fi network. As with my past Debit installations with this app, the process went butter smooth. Each of the Debit 500's modes correspond to a preset cleaning pattern, which is depicted in a diagram in the app. In auto mode, which is optimized for carpets, the vacuum will take a random path through the room. Essentially, it moves in a straight line until its sensors detect an obstacle, then it changes direction and continues on a straight path until it comes to the next obstacle and so on. In edge mode, the vacuum will travel the perimeter of the room, cleaning all corners and edges. Spot mode attacks concentrated dirt by cleaning a small area in a spiral pattern. Coming at number 7. Shark Ion Robot Dual Action. Dozens of reviewers say this robot vacuum works well on all surfaces. I turned the Shark loose, and it cleans our kitchen, bathroom, and living room. Our living room is a deeper scroll carpeting, our kitchen is tile, and our bathroom is like an outdoor carpeting, and the Shark does a great job, writes one reviewer. Another notes that while they do have to move cords out of their robot's way, he's otherwise fairly quiet and unobtrusive. He's tenacious even in hard-to-reach places, and we're constantly equal parts amazed and horrified by how much orange cat fur and dust he sucks up from our floors, even with near daily use. And while this vacuum doesn't have mapping, it does have smart sensors to help it get around. One reviewer was pleasantly surprised that it didn't fall down the stairs. I thought I would have to put the boundary strip down, but nope, starts to go over the edge by an inch or so, then stops and turns. While it's busy constantly maintaining itself, the brush roll works with the 2 tough bristled spinning brushes to remove hair and debris from every corner of your carpets and bare floors. Thanks to its ingenious helix pattern bristles, the main brush roll is well adept at lifting dust and dander. Since the spinning brushes become worn after repeated use, Shark included an extra set for your convenience. The 5-pound RV720 has a compact design. Its 12.6-inch diameter and 2.6-inch height allow the robot vacuum to sail under tables, chairs, beds and other furniture. However, if there are places you'd rather the vacuum not travel, Shark gives you tools to restrict where the robot vacuum goes, a boundary strip and connectors. You can cut the 9-foot boundary strip as short as 18 inches, so you can place it on door thresholds and in front of low-clearance furniture. Using the 2 bot boundary connectors, you can enclose an entire object so the robot vacuum can't come near it. At number 6. iRobot Roomba E5. While the point of robot vacuums is to help you clean, the machines themselves also need to be cleaned regularly. And to make that process a little easier, this Roomba has a rubber brush, which reviewers find is easier to clean. The brushes are rubber and have no bristles, so hair does not get wound around them and have to be cleaned constantly, one explains. Another benefit, this model is so much quieter, and the 2 rubber rollers are a great improvement over the brush roller. The bin is also easy to clean. As another reviewer notes, it's super easy to empty, and I like the washable nature of the bin. And while a rubber brush may not sound ideal for carpet, about 10% of reviewers say this one works perfectly fine on them. It runs for about an hour and finds its way back to the base most of the time, one reviewer says. I have run it every day for the last 4 days, and the dirt cup is full every time. It is getting dirt that my upright did not. In the middle of the app is a clean button to start and stop vacuuming underneath a battery level indicator. When you stop cleaning, a pop-up appears and asks whether you want to resume vacuuming or send the E5 back to the charging dock. The left corner of the app shows notifications, and the right is where you can manage smart home services it's connected to, like Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. Once connected, you can use voice commands to start and stop the vacuum, pause it, and send it back to the charger. iRobot's Roomba E5 is a powerful robot vacuum with strong suction, long battery life, and support for app control and voice commands, but it doesn't stand out against the competition. For more information and price, check out the product links in description underneath the video. Halfway of my listed number 5. iRobot Roomba i7 Plus 7550. The Roomba i7 Plus was a godsend to a lazy bum like me. It empties itself, one user writes, and others agree that the automatic dirt disposal is one of the best features. Having the vacuum empty itself saves me from having interrupted cycles while it waits for me to empty it, one writes, and while one compares the sound it makes when emptying to the deck of an aircraft carrier, they still say it works like a charm. According to one multi-generational Roomba owner, another upgrade in this model is the mapping feature. My older Roombas seem to ignore my invisible walls half the time, they explain. I would try to move them around to control what room is getting cleaned, and my wife simply would not use the Roomba because if she wanted one room cleaned, it was easier to just go grab the regular vacuum. Now with the new maps you can tell the Roomba to go clean the kitchen. And off it goes and it sticks right to the map. The iRobot Roomba i7 Plus is a high-end robot vacuum. It has a unique automatic dirt disposal built into its charging dock, so when the robot returns to the dock to charge, it empties its bin. While this means it has a larger dirt compartment than most other robot vacuums, the external dirt bag is another recurring cost that adds up over time. Other than this feature, its performance is somewhat similar to the Neato BotVac D7 on carpet, but it struggles a bit more on bare floors. If you're looking for more vacuums, check out our recommendations for the best robot vacuums or the best robot vacuums for pet hair. Coming in at number 4 of my list. iRobot Roomba 675. If you're new to the world of robot vacuums, iRobot Roomba 675 is a good place to start. iRobot is one of the most respected names on the market, and the Roomba 675 is the company's most affordable model with Wi-Fi connectivity. It automatically adjusts to different floor surfaces, rarely gets stuck, and works quickly. It lacks some features you get in pricier models like the ability to map your home and set up virtual boundaries, but it supports app and voice control and allows you to set cleaning schedules. It's a terrific introduction to robot vacuums for the price and our new editor's choice for entry-level models. The Roomba 675 measures 13 inches in diameter and 3.7 inches high. It's one of the taller robot vacuums we've tested, but it can still easily pass under most furniture. If you're looking for a super low-profile model, check out the 2.8-inch Eufy RoboVac 11s or the 2.9-inch Eufy RoboVac 30C. On the bottom, it has two multi-surface brushes, the first of which loosens and lifts dirt and other debris, and a second that pulls it into the suction channel. It also features one edge-sweeping side brush for corners. Several cliff sensors on the bottom prevent it from falling down stairs or other edges. Setting up the Roomba 675 is simple. You just need to plug the home base into the wall, remove the battery pull tab, and place it on the charger. iRobot recommends placing the base at least 1.5 feet away from objects on either side and 4 feet across from anything. The robot comes partially charged, but iRobot recommends waiting 3 hours for it to top off. To check the status of the battery, just press the clean button on the top, and the battery indicator will illuminate. Amber means it's still charging, and solid green means it's fully charged. At number 3. iRobot Roomba 614. The baseline model is fabulous, according to one reviewer. While it does not connect to your phone, nor can it be set to an automatic timer, it can vacuum under the bed, under the dresser, over the air vents, over the door tracks, and on short nap carpet, shag carpet, tile, vinyl, parquet, and throw rugs, any place you want cleaned, writes one reviewer. According to another, it can even do a way better job than a regular vacuum. And while it might not have as many features as other robot vacuums, it does have a dock button if you want to send it back to its charging station early, as well as a spot clean button, which I find particularly useful to clean the more heavily trafficked areas of my apartment, says one user. It also offers a bit of entertainment, according to one self-identified lazy millennial. You haven't quite lived until you're drunk enough to follow the Roomba all over your small studio apartment, feeding it Cocoa Krispies and getting giddy when it finally cycles around to catch it. The first great plus for the 614 model is that it is a great, inexpensive, entry-level model for those looking to experience automatic vacuum for the first time. You will not have to break the bank to buy the 614. The price for this model will vary depending on any deals or sales you might find. Because the price will change frequently, it is a good idea to check Amazon for the latest lowest price. Another great pro of this model is that you will get wall-to-wall coverage. iRobot is known for its industry-leading vacuuming technology. The 614 is able to get up under your furniture and right next to your wall so that every inch of your floors are covered. For more information and price, check out the product links in description underneath the video. Coming at number 2, ILIFE A4's Robot Vacuum Cleaner. Nearly 3,000 reviewers give this robot vacuum 5 stars, with hundreds of them mentioning its reasonable price point and high-quality performance. It gets under furniture, around the corners and edges, and does the whole house over on one charge. My husband was even surprised that it could climb over the little hills and thresholds where our tile meets the laminate, says one former Roomba owner, who says this drastically cheaper robot vacuum does a better job of cleaning her house than the more expensive device. Another 10-year Roomba user says this machine cleans as well as the Roomba on hardwood floors, but does so extremely quietly. Hundreds of other customers describe this robot vacuum cleaner as quiet, including one initially skeptical reviewer who says the first thing he noticed about the machine was the lack of sound, adding that he's also blown away by its performance after the first cycle. The first and most important thing I noticed walking around barefoot. Zero grit feeling. The filtration is amazing, pre-filter, foam filter, then HEPA filter. The HEPA filter is rock solid, and my girlfriend commented first thing after it was running that it wasn't bothering her allergies at all. More importantly, the A4's is capable of handling many different floor types. It traversed my hardwood floors, rugs, and tile without issue. It did struggle a bit with some raised flooring outside my kitchen, but I attribute that more to its small size than anything else. And it was still able to enter the kitchen without human intervention, so it's not much of an issue. It should be noted the A4's uses infrared sensors, and the company warns it may not be suitable for very dark flooring. That's a common issue, as drop sensors will sometimes register dark floors as cliffs. I didn't experience any issues with a dark charcoal rug in my room, but it's something to keep in mind. As for suction, the A4's was able to pick up a good deal of dust bunnies, hair, and a disturbing amount of food bits from my floors and rugs. And as mentioned earlier, the dustbin is large enough that you don't have to worry about emptying it before a cleaning session has finished. And number 1. Eufy RoboVac 11s. This thing sucks, jokes one reviewer. Its suction is much stronger than my Roombas have had. 30% of 5-star reviewers claim to have gotten this robot vacuum to deal with pet hair. With 2 dogs and 2 cats, my house rarely meets my own unattainable standards, one writes. Eufy gets me close. Many reviewers are surprised by how much dirt and hair this thing picks up even after a first pass. The floors were vacuumed and steam cleaned about 4 days before it arrived, which is an important fact. It's just the 2 of us and our little dog, who doesn't shed, so I honestly didn't expect it to pick up much at all, one user explains. Was I surprised? I ran it 4 times yesterday to play with all the features and also on auto, just to see where it would go. All 4 times that I ran the machine, the storage bin was full of dust, lint, and particles of debris. Reviewers also comment on the slim design and how quiet the machine is. It's so quiet, one says, I don't even realize it's operating. The RoboVac 11s has excellent battery life. On its most powerful suction setting, max, it lasts just over an hour. On the least powerful mode, standard, it cleans for almost 2 hours. That said, if you're looking for a budget-friendly robot vacuum that can last even longer on a single charge, take a look at the Shark Ion Robot 2020. There's also a battery indicator light on the vacuum. It's blue when the vacuum is on standby, fully charged, or cleaning. When there's minimal battery life left, it turns solid orange and starts to return to the dock, and the battery flashes orange while it's charging. Lastly, the light flashes red when there's an error. For more information and price, check out the product links in description underneath the video. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, share this video and hit the like button.